What is up? What is up? Game and compute. What is going on? Um, I'm not sure if it's gonna get too hot in here. I kind of want to close the windows in case I'm on a semi-busy street. But this is a good time of year with the weather not being too intense. I can park under a tree and not melt, and it's nice and breezy out. And okay, so today we're gonna get into talking about the new changes for Spotify, um, for podcasting. Now this isn't gonna be like super comprehensive because I have a feeling they're kind of doing something in addition, um, to what I'm seeing that's new as of the last 24 hours or so. It seems like around noon yesterday they posted on their YouTube channel some, update type information, and I browsed through it today and want to talk about that. But I do kind of want to fill you guys in, just because when I disappear for a second, I do like to fill in everybody. And I'm gonna record separately about the details of what is happening with this online sales project slash research project I'm in the middle of. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna upload that as a series, like separately, and so I'm gonna record it. I don't know when I'm gonna actually upload, but that's in the works. It's been in the works, I think, since about the last time I posted. Unfortunately, I can't really check. Let me see if I can check. I don't think I can really check on here. Let's see if I can. Let's see if it'll let me check my last post. Because I don't remember what it is. I'm outside right now, and so I don't have access to my laptop. Where nowadays we almost have to use Spotify almost exclusively on a desktop. You can't just go to like the desktop version on your browser on your smartphone. I don't think. If that's an option, then that might be the best option. Let me see. So yeah, so I'm basically working on a research project. It's gone from market research, to now we're in like the sales process of things, but I'm still in the early phases of posting on the platforms and tracking traffic, and then seeing kind of what I'm going to do as far as, with the budget, with ad spend and things like that. I'm not really ready yet to kind of dive right into all that because I'd like to see where the organic traffic leads, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, as far as well, I can't log in. Sorry. As far as what I've been up to since I've been kind of missing for a little bit. I'm just working on a lot of stuff, and I haven't really had anything to post specifically because a lot of what I've been doing is waiting on shipping since like October 15th. So I set up all the back end of everything. Not everything, but most things, and so I got all the platform subscriptions squared away, and accounts updated and we're ready for the products to get posted. Just um, I basically did that and took some pictures of the products once they arrived. At the moment, I'm doing weekly purchases so that they're staggered kind of weekly. I had a funny situation where um, uh, I don't know if I want to get into all this, but basically, one of my products or boxes full of products got delivered to the back of the outside of the back of one of the cars that sits in our driveway. It's not even really an operational car right now. It doesn't have registration updated, and it's uh yeah, it doesn't have the registration updated. So I don't fully know, but um yeah, I didn't have yeah, basically we don't drive it, and it probably needs to be jump started anyways if it was gonna be useful. I don't think it starts because the battery's dead. So, but the battery's pretty new. It's just nobody drives it because we can't legally drive it. So we use the other car, but this, I don't know why that package got delivered. It was sitting on the back of the trunk. Um, they just delivered it to the back of the trunk. I don't know. I think I caught it the day that it was delivered, like that night, because I went outside at night to get some fresh air, and you know, that's when I saw it on the back of. I just happened to walk outside in the driveway, and there was a package, a box on the back of the car. I don't know why they didn't walk it the extra 15 feet to the actual doorstep. You know, we don't have like a hazard on our doorstep. Um, I have no idea. I've never seen that before in my life. And I'm glad we don't drive that car, because if we were driving the car, it's possible that the package would have dropped and been damaged, because I might have been driving, and our driveway kind of slopes downward when you're backing out. So anything can slide off the back of the car, but there's usually not anything on the back of the car. So I don't know. That was weird. And then I also got a message. Okay, so the 15th was my first order. October 15th. That one took the longest. It arrived like on November, I want to say November 12th. It was maybe November 12th when it arrived. So almost a month. Um, the other two packages that have multiple items in them, they're both from a different site, but two of those were from that same site. That's a different site. They seem to take a week to arrive. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Um, so yeah, the upcoming series will be talking more about those kind of things. Um, the day that I got the package delivered that was taking forever, I actually heard the mail delivery person at the door kind of scanning things in, because I was like standing there waiting, not like looking at them, but like I was standing inside the house, kind of. I looked out the window, saw that their car was parked, you know, out in front of the house, and then I basically was like listening, because I'm like, okay, like they usually park in front of our house, then they go to the neighbor, then they go to us. So like either they've already delivered it, or they're at our house, or they're at the neighbor's house, because we're at the end of the street. So um and so we basically saw that they were, you know, delivering to us, and they were scanning it in. I could hear like the that kind of like scanner beeping and stuff, and the sound of the mailbox and everything opening and closing. Then I take the things out of the mailbox, make sure it's the right products and everything. Actually, that was the one from October 15th, the one that they put in the mailbox where I got. Then I got a text probably 30 minutes later saying, "Click this link because USPS isn't able to, um, you know, deliver your item through customs." Um, so there was some kind of information. They're like, your product is on hold at customs, and you need to like go through this link through USPS to kind of like get your package. But I know it had just been delivered. It just got delivered. I just opened it. I had the package. So I don't know. Somebody's selling information. That wasn't. I didn't click the link because I'm like, there's no way USPS was like delivering something that wasn't properly cleared by customs, and it wasn't an item that customs wouldn't clear. It's like clothing. It's not even like anything like scandalous. Like it's like clothing accessories, like this normal thing. It's not. There's no debate over that kind of thing. And yeah, some reason I got that text, but it was like strategically a few minutes later, and for an item that wasn't on hold at customs, because I literally had it in my hands at the time when the text came, and the text was like 30 minutes late. So they know. I think somebody knows. There's some way that they're tracking when something should get delivered or does get delivered. Just be careful out there, guys. Like, I like to talk about my weird experiences because I'm like, I don't even know what to do with some of this stuff, like I don't know what to do with the other one. Like I was like, I took a little video clip just as proof that somebody didn't deliver it properly. I don't think it was a regular mail delivery, people. And I just don't know. Nothing that's never happened where somebody left something on the back of the car. The first one arrived perfectly fine. And so I don't really understand why that one was delivered to the back of the car. Then the next day, the longest delivery time item. I mean, it was in China for like a long time, for like at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, like longer than that. A little over 3 weeks. Then once it got to the U.S., it got to me within like a couple days. I was tracking it for a long time, because I was about to cancel it, because I was like, well, it was supposed to get here November 11th, and I was like, I'll give it till the weekend, and then I was gonna just cancel it and get a refund, because I'm like, even though it wasn't a lot of money, I'm like, I paid money for it. So that's been my experience so far with that. But I'll break it down into kind of like a series of more details. Like, there's not really too much that I've been able to really finish, because I barely got all the products this week. Well, I had the other products last week, and then I barely got the remaining products this week. And then I'm slowly posting and tracking, just because I don't want to spend a lot of money up front, because we're not really in crunch time right now. So I'm not really going to be like required to spend a lot at the moment. So I don't really want to spend a lot with like advertising and promoting and stuff like that until I know like until I know like what can be accomplished through just like organic traffic. And I won't know that for a little bit. I'm testing out some stuff right now. So anyways, now that we're like 15 minutes later, let's talk about this Spotify for podcasters, Spotify for creators change. Spotify has, I almost don't want, I try not to speak too negatively about platforms that I use, but I feel like I've got to go in on this one. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying not to be like negative, but I don't know what they're doing. Like, I I don't know what they're doing. Oh my goodness. So I think somebody tripped the security alarm. Okay. So Spotify for podcasters is now Spotify for creators. Now, last time we talked about, how they've changed their, partner program and, the monetization options. We talked about that and what that looks like. I'm going to talk about that again, but I'm not sure how much it's really changed. I'm just going to go over it just in case it has changed because I have not committed to memory all of the stuff that I talked about last time. And I have screenshots on my laptop just for in case I want, not proof, but in case I want some kind of history of how things were going down during 2024 because it's I don't know. There have been so many changes between 2023 and 2024. It's what? It's not even the same platform anymore. It's I don't even recognize this. I don't even know what it's doing. I don't know what it is. So the last major complaint, monetization has been an issue, but the last major complaint was the switch from, Anchor changing to Spotify for podcasters, and then Riverside became a platform that people had to use, and then there was a way that you could get around using Riverside. You didn't really have to use it. And then, basically they wiped out the app, so all it had was some social feature where you can comment, you can reply to comments, kind of like social media, kind of almost like if you post something on Instagram and somebody can reply or somebody can comment on your post. It's almost like that, but with with episodes, I guess. So people could comment on the episodes. So you had access to replying to comments, viewing comments, and access to analytics, which, by the way, were lame, shall I say? Lame. The analytics are weak, I would say. Now they've improved the analytics. So let's talk about Spotify for creators now, because I guess we're no longer Spotify for podcasters. The purple app, the green app is the regular Spotify. For music and listening to podcasts and audiobooks and watching videos and things. That's the regular Spotify. The creator Spotify is purple. Same logo design, but purple in color versus the green app that's been around for ages at this point. So Spotify for creators. I guess the two things, the monetization, we'll breeze through that because we've talked about the monetization before, and I really don't think it's changed all that much. But just in case, we're going to talk about it in case it has, because I haven't memorized it like I mentioned. So, let's see. So, you have basically, to be able to monetize, you have to be able to qualify. You have to be eligible for the Spotify Partner Program. Now, in order to be eligible, it says, with our monetization suite, you can effortlessly earn from both ads and premium video revenue. Now, they make it sound like effortlessly. You're not effortlessly earning on here at all. It's not effortless at all. So basically, to apply, you have to meet all 12 conditions. So I only have 3 of them listed on here, or a few of them listed on here. I didn't click learn more. But basically, to apply, you have to hit 2,000 people who streamed on Spotify. So they're favoring their own platform. You can't really post it out to YouTube or all the other platforms that they say, like, like DuckDuckGo or like Amazon Podcasts or Apple Podcasts or I don't know what the other ones are at the moment, like Radio FM or whatever. I don't know. There's all these apps where they upload your content, but they don't consider any of that for the 2,000 people who have streamed, even though it's going to like multiple other places. They're not considering that, even though, as far as I know, they're still pushing content to those other places. But I don't know if that works in your favor. If you're trying to get 2,000 specifically on Spotify, I don't know if that works in your favor. Now, what would maybe work in your favor, like we talked about last time, and I haven't tried it because it sounds like way too much work. You'd have to basically make a login account for each of these apps and then see kind of what their process is for their monetization processes. Maybe some of those other platforms, maybe you're getting more streaming on off from there. You're getting more people streaming from there. You might want to check. You might want to check if you're getting more people streaming on other apps, and see if the other apps where Spotify is pushing your content to, see if those are more worth your while. I mean, that's what I would recommend at the moment. I haven't looked into it, but it's a project for somebody else. I don't really have time for that right now. But if somebody else wants to do that, I would say that might be a good thing to test and see what you can learn. And see if it works for you. Because if you're trying to get 2,000 specifically on Spotify within the last 30 days, and 10,000 consumption hours on Spotify within the last 30 days. So 10,000 hours. That means in the last 30 days, you have to have I'm trying to do the math on it. And you have to have published at least 12 episodes. So let's say at least 12 episodes. I don't know if that's within the last 30 days. I think that's within the year. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I really don't know. But so basically, that's just some of what you need to do to apply. So let's say at the very least, you need 12 episodes. That's one a month. That means per month, you have to have 2,000 people that stream that one episode. Now, if it's one episode and each episode is 1 hour, if you have a 1 hour episode every month, that means, you have to have 2,000 people who streamed, but 10,000 consumption hours on Spotify would mean you technically have to have however many hours would add up to 10,000 hours. I mean, so you have to have way more episodes, right? I mean, unless you're having all of those people, unless you have 10,000 people listening to the whole episode, that would be 10,000 hours. So you either need a lot of episodes. I mean, first of all, you have to have 10,000 hours worth of content, or 10,000 people listening to 10,000 hours worth of your content. So if you don't have either of those, or 2,000 people, so you have to have at least 2,000 people streaming, but at least 10,000 hours consumed. So just, I don't know. I'm not trying to make it more confusing, but I'm just trying to put it out there as what do these numbers actually look like? I mean, if I think about, let me see. Say if the typical person who maybe doesn't work out and doesn't cook meals every day, after work. Let's say somebody meal preps Saturday, Sunday. And so they have a lot of meals that they prep Saturday, Sunday, cook breakfast before work, take leftovers from their pre-cooked dinner to work for lunch the next day. So they don't cook meals necessarily Monday through Friday. And let's say Monday through Friday, a person posts. Uh, let's say like a typical person's schedule is, say after outside of work, outside of 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 nowadays. Outside of that 8 hour workday, somebody has, let's say you get off work at 5. Let's just make it easy. So you're working from home. You get off work at 5. You have till 10 p.m. for your lights out for when you're gonna go to sleep. That's 5 hours every night. Let's say somebody typically listens to or watches 2 hours a night of, either like a movie on Netflix or like a couple shows or whatever. Let's say 2 hours. I don't know how much people watch, but I feel like, people probably watch more than that. If you're not cooking or working out or doing chores or errands after work, and you have a whole 5 hours after work every day, you basically have 25 hours every week free, or weekdays free, or you have 25 hours of weekday time free. But of that 25 hours that's free, you're spending 2 hours every night of viewing whatever you want for fun. And so if that's 2 hours of fun per night, I think most people have more than that, in all honesty. But say if it's 2 hours of fun per night of just relaxation and just zoning out and not doing any other distracting stuff. And I feel like that's a low number for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people consume a lot more, like as far as like TV and stuff like that, and like watching stuff. I think most people probably consume closer to 3 or 4 hours, but I want to say 2 on the conservative side. Let's say that this person has hobbies, they have other interests. So 2 hours, that's 10 hours a week that somebody's spending listening to things. And if there's like 52 weeks in a year, then that's like 520 hours a person is spending. So basically, that would mean on average, your listeners would have to have double that amount of time of only listening to your podcast. They need to have almost double that amount of time for the whole year. 4 hours. That's almost, like, if you break that down, 10,000 hours, just weekdays during a year, that's like 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Does that sound realistic that people consume approximately 4 hours a day of podcast material during their weekdays? Now, if it's something popular like Joe Rogan, that's like 2-3 hour episodes, or 1 to 3 hour episodes, or people who post maybe once a week for like 90 minutes or something, they'll have the minutes there, the time there, where people can do what they want to do with it. But I mean, this number is completely fake. I'm making up these numbers, but just to put it into perspective of like, what does it look like to actually have, basically someone has to be listening to approximately 4 hours of content, less than that, but 4 hours of content per night, Monday through Friday, if they want to help you reach your goals. So you've got to be posting we'll assume you're not getting brand new people every day. You might get a few brand new people every day, but it's not like every single day there's going to be 2,000 brand new listeners. You're going to have old listeners, you're going to have listeners that fall off, you're going to have new listeners. There's going to be a combo. And so if you don't have 4 hours worth of content, 20 hours worth of content um, for new people to consume each week. Let's just assume it's new. Like, you need to know what the difference is between the percentages of new people, the percentages of old people who are already like listening for more than one episode that are returning. How often they're returning? Are they just listening once a month, or are they listening every day? You need to know those percentages, because it's like I can't really just like throw numbers out there, but because this is completely fake and there's so much variation. But those are the kind of numbers you need to know. But that's about what it looks like if we're just saying purely new people. If we were only looking at new people, you'd need 2,000 people to be streaming for 2,000 new people every day to be, 2,000 people over 30 days to be streaming for 4 hours, about 4 hours worth of your content every week, for you to reach 10,000 hours. It would be over 10,000 hours. That's actually, if you're using my numbers, that's like, it's 520 if they're listening to 2 hours. So it's times 2 if they're listening to wait. I did that wrong. It's like, it's not times 2. Sorry. That only gets you like over 1,000. So 10 times that. So like 20. Yeah, 20. That's too much. I don't know. I feel like reaching that number is too high of a number. I mean, 10,000, because you'd have to have either a whole bunch of really short episodes or a whole bunch of really long episodes, but people would have to want to listen to all of it, and you'd have to have a lot of people. And I think it's unique listeners. I think, say, if I'm person A, I'm still a unique listener if you post Monday through Friday and I listen to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm one unique person that listened to your 1 hour new episode. You have 1 hour Monday, 1 hour Tuesday, 1 hour Wednesday, and so on. That's newly posted. And if I were listening to that, that would be, you got 5 hours out of me, so that's one person listening to 1 hour, on weekdays only, every weekday. Now, if I go back and listen to Monday's episode like 4 times, I don't know if that counts. I don't know if they count if you keep listening to the same one. I've listened to podcasts more than once before. Sometimes I just enjoy the episodes and I'm like, I want to hear it again. Or it's like my favorite band, or like something I'm really into, where I'm like, they post all the time, so I really want to listen to it. And I don't care how many times I listen to the same ones. But I don't know. You guys can decide if you think that's excessive demands, or if you think that's, I'm not saying it's not achievable. I'm just saying we were able to monetize with Anchor.fm without having all these demands. Like, the demands way back with Anchor were not even in the same ballpark. The only real issue with Anchor was you could only cash out at like $10 minimum. So you had to pass the $10 to be able to cash out. That was the only real complication, I would say. was that cash out issue. Um, but it was kind of a, li- a little bit tricky, like now that it's changed, they make it sound like it's easy. It's not easy. That's not easy to reach and to sustain. And they're probably going to change it anyways. Like they change so many things. They've been changing so much stuff back to back that it's like, who knows if this is going to become even more challenging. I kind of have a feeling they would make it more challenging, because then they don't have to, like, the incentive is there, but it's like it's not consistent, and then you could probably lose your eligibility. Like, you're not just reaching it once, you have to be able to consistently hit these numbers, or else you have to you have to become eligible again. You have to wait like another time period to be able to do it again, and have to qualify to do it again. So that's an old issue that's still kind of going on, but the new issue basically is with the app. So the Spotify for podcast for I'm gonna keep saying the wrong name now. Spotify for creators. Like with the app, you can save on your phone. You can upload to the app, but the app creates a brand new podcast. So that's the issue that I'm not sure how to work around. It creates a brand new podcast. You can't log into your old podcast. There's no ability to log in. So basically, you can create a new episode and post it to the wind. I don't know where it goes. I tested one to post it, and I don't know where it is. I can't find it. But apparently, I have a new duplicated one of my podcasts. I duplicated the name because it automatically pre-filled that name. So I just assumed, okay, it's gonna go to this podcast. There's no link to the podcast or anything. It's just basically you're just uploading it. So you can upload, but you have to start new. You can't upload RSS feed and like put your old episodes into this. You can't take your old episodes and put them into the Spotify for Creators app. You can't log into Spotify. Now, it does have two options. You can press that little upload button. I think you can upload it or share it. Like, you can share it. It's that I think it's the share button. Let me check. Yeah, you can share it to different, just like through your phone. You can share it to text it to people, or share it in Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah, Instagram, LinkedIn, texting, Facebook, messaging. It has a bunch of other apps that I don't think you would ever put messages in, or you can copy the link. And it has an option where you can click the Spotify icon, and when you click that, it gives you the opportunity to log in with your email username or and the password attached to that to your Spotify account. But when you go back to the Spotify for podcasters or Spotify for creators app, it's not necessarily logged in to your Spotify login. I don't think they're the same login. Like, it's not logging you into anything. And if it is, it's not very clear. So I'm trying to test it and see, is this logging me in anywhere? I mean, I don't even know. I can log into my Spotify account. And I don't understand what's going on here. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what is happening. There aren't that many buttons on here. You have analytics, comments, monetize, and podcast at the bottom. And then you just have edit details, that podcast where you can share the link somewhere, or you can go back to the regular Spotify listening app where you're not creating, but you're just listening. So those are the only 3 buttons that take you out of this. Comments is useless unless you really want them. You have comments, polls, published, needs review, some other filters, analytics. Well, because this is brand new, I can't track analytics, so I don't really know what the analytics look like on here. I read through monetize already. You have the options to unlock subscriptions. To do that, you have to have 100 people in the last 30 days and 2 episodes published. And so you can't even get your listeners to, or fans or whatever, to subscribe to you monthly. You don't even get the option. One thing they did kind of mention on one of their trailers on YouTube was, using your own promotions, your own paid promotions. But first of all, you have to get those paid promotions elsewhere. And then secondly, you have to get them cleared. Spotify has to clear your promotion options from outside promotions. They have to clear them, and you have to click that button that says that you do have promotions in your episode. And you have the option to post. If you click the plus button, it has the platform rules, the terms of use. It gives you the option to select a file. If you want to, if it says need to record an episode, learn about the recording tools available to you. Once you have your file, upload it here to make an episode. So if I click there, it takes me out to support.spotify.com. And so that's kind of the only thing you can really do. Like, there's no, I don't know. It says record with other people remotely. Riverside, Descript, Zoom. You can edit. I'm thinking there's got to be another way. You have to log in through some other thing. I just don't understand. Because, a lot of people were complaining in the comments with their other change, saying like, what'd you guys do to the app? You made it so we can't upload through the app. And now you can upload through the app, but I think it just goes into an abyss somewhere. Like, I don't know where it goes. I put out one that says testing 1, 2, 3, and I don't know where it went. Can't find it. Let me see if I can search for it on Spotify.